2, 1.
Hey, America, it's Sunday. We're coming to you straight from Washington, D.C.
We're live from the White House with breaking news.
Brian Glenn.
Yes. My question is,
bringing you the stories that matter.
you're putting the American people first. Your thoughts on that?
Thank you. I like that question. Boy, I want more questions like that.
And the conversations you won't hear anywhere else.
It is a privilege to report from the White House.
Why don't you wear a suit? Do you own a suit?
I think he's a great guy, by the way.
A superstar in the media world, Brian Glenn.
Trump was right about everything.
Mr. President, I'll take one.
Brian, you're not a suit.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
It's Sunday in America with Real America's Voice. Now, here's your host, Brian Glenn.
Okay, so we're at Bedminster, and we're waiting to load up to go to the airport where President Trump is going to make his way over to MetLife Field there, where FIFA match is taking place. It's going to be a long day. Stay with us. It's going to be one of those eventful, it's always kind of a moving situation, which is the best television. But President Trump on this July 13th headed to FIFA. Okay, so now we're at the local regional airport. They are waiting for President Trump to land from Bedminster on Marine One. From there, we're going to get inside the motorcade. We're going to make our way over to MetLife Stadium. So let's go.
MetLife Stadium, waiting for President Trump to step out and enjoy the national anthem here. We've got a stadium full of soccer fans. We've been in the pretty much been in the motorcade since Texas. Whoa! We almost had a ball fired in here. A lot of excitement in the air. Of course, President Trump had the FIFA trophy inside his Oval Office. I think he's about to walk out. 10:30 to get our bags ready. So it takes several hours to get in the motorcade, to get to Bedminster, to prepare for him to come out. And if it would have been a weather issue, he would have driven here in the motorcade, but not. He took Marine One and actually flew to a nearby landing, kind of a smaller airport, then got in the motorcade to come here. But it's been a long day here, and I'm looking around. Even though you might have rooted for the other team, no one has left this stadium so far. Now, I know we're planning on leaving here shortly, making our way back to D.C. As you know, guys, as you well know, we still have work to do on Monday morning, and President Trump has a very busy schedule next week. On Tuesday, he's headed to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for an event, a roundtable event, if you will, with Dave McCormick to talk about energy and AI. So after this, it's back to business next week for President Trump. I've got to sign off here because we're about to get in the motorcade behind me. But it's been a pleasure to be with you guys today. It's been a pleasure to be in MetLife Stadium, experiencing this FIFA Club Championship. Proud to be here with President Trump as well. I got to get in press vehicle 1. I'll see you guys later.
We'll be right back with more Sunday in America here on Real America's Voice. To Sunday in America with your host, Brian Glenn.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a honor, great honor, to have a friend of mine who's become very friendly over the last number of years. We knew each other before, but Mark is the head of NATO, Mark Rutte, Secretary General of NATO, highly respected by everybody that knows him, but in particular the European countries. They have great reliance on him. And he's done a fantastic job. And we had a tremendous meeting, I guess it's about a month ago. And I think Mark will tell you that it was really perhaps more important the date of November 5th. That was the election day. Maybe that was the most important because we've made tremendous progress together. And one of the reasons that you're here today is to hear that we are very unhappy, I am, with Russia. But we'll discuss that maybe a different day. But we're very, very unhappy with them, and we're going to be doing very severe tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. Tariffs at about 100%. You'd call them secondary tariffs. You know what that means. But today we're going to talk about something else. And as you know, we've spent $350 billion approximately on this war with Russia and Ukraine. And would like to see it end. It wasn't my war, it was Biden's war. It's not my war. I'm trying to get you out of it. And we want to see it end. And I'm disappointed in President Putin because I thought we would have had a deal 2 months ago, but it doesn't seem to get there. So based on that, we're going to be doing secondary tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. It's very simple. And they'll be at 100%. And that's the way it is. That can be more simple. It's just the way it is. I hope we don't have to do it. But regardless, we are going to be we make the greatest military equipment in the world, whether it's missiles. You saw that recently in Iran, the way those planes flew in. They had every single 14 bombs hit every target. Then you had the helicopters shoot a total of 30 bombs, 30 missiles, and they hit every single marker. Is that right? Every single piece, every single target. And it was, I guess, on a scale of 0 to 10, they say it was about a 15. That's how successful it was. That's how lethal it was, a word they like to use nowadays. But it was an amazing, well-organized attack that people in this country want to do for 24 years. You know, when we had the pilots in last week, they were saying, sir, we've been practicing this for 24 years, meaning people, not them, but other people that are a little older now. But they too, and you were the one that let us do it. But we've been practicing it 3 to 4 times a year for 22, 24 years, because they always knew they had to stop Iran from doing what they were doing, which is trying to come up with a nuclear weapon, a nuclear bomb. And we did it very successfully. And we make the best equipment, the best missiles, the best of everything. The European nations know that. And we've made a deal today, and I'm going to have Mark speak about it, but we've made a deal today where we are going to be sending them weapons, and they're going to be paying for them. The United States will not be having any payment made. We're not buying it, but we will manufacture it, and they're going to be paying for it. Our last meeting of a month ago was very successful in that they agreed to 5%, which is more than $1 trillion a year, so they have a lot of money. And these are wealthy nations. They have a lot of money, and they want to do it. They feel very strongly about it, and we feel strongly about it, too. But we're in for a lot of money, and we don't want to do anymore, and we can't. But we make the best, and we're going to be sending the best to NATO, and in some cases to maybe, at Mark's suggestion, if we go to Germany, where they're going to send early on missiles, and they'll be replaced, and NATO is going to take care of it. It's going to be coordinated by NATO, and they're going to work very much with Matt Whitaker, who's right here, who's a great ambassador, and Matt's going to be coordinating. You better do a good job, Matt.
I will.
But Matt's going to coordinate. He's a very talented guy. He's going to coordinate everything. So in a nutshell, we're going to make top-of-the-line weapons, and they'll be sent to NATO. NATO may choose to have certain of them sent to other countries where we can get a little additional speed, where the country will release something and it'll be mostly in the form of a replacement. And I'd like to have Mark, and again, just a highly respected, pretty young guy, for having had the career that he's had, because he had an amazing career before going to NATO. So we spent a lot of time together over the last couple of months. And if you could say a few words.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
No, Mr. President, dear Donald, this is really big. This is really big. You called me on Thursday that you had taken a decision. And the decision is that you want Ukraine what it needs to have to maintain, to be able to defend itself against Russia, but you do want the Europeans to pay for it, which is totally logical. And this is building on the tremendous success of the NATO summit. The 5%, but also the decision to keep Ukraine strong and the decision to increase our defense industrial production. So based on that, that was Europe stepping up. This is again Europeans stepping up. So I've been in contact with many countries. I can tell you that at this moment, Germany massively, but also Finland and Denmark and Sweden and Norway, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, Canada, they all want to be part of this. And this is only the first wave. There will be more. So what we will do is work through the NATO systems to make sure that we know what the Ukrainians need, so that we can make packages. Of course, in a way, we discussed it this morning with Pete Hegseth at the Pentagon, in a way that, of course, the US will keep on its stockpiles necessary to defend this country. That's absolutely clear. But it will mean that Ukraine can get its hands on really massive numbers of military equipment, both for air defense, but also missiles, ammunition, etc., etc. So if I was Vladimir Putin today and hear you speaking about what you were planning to do in 50 days and this announcement, I would reconsider whether I should not take negotiations about Ukraine more seriously than I was doing at the moment if I was Vladimir Putin. But when I'm Ukraine, I think this is really great news for them. So I really want to thank you for that. And it means the Europeans paying for it. And again, I mentioned all these countries, we will deal with that. And exactly as you said, that might also mean that countries will move equipment fast into Ukraine and then the US later backfilling it because speed is of the essence here. So really, thank you. This is important.
You did a great job.
Mr. President.
Yeah, please.
Could this transaction with NATO be viewed as a step towards achieving peace, letting Putin know that now Zelensky has a little bit more powerful tools in his tool chest, and maybe that brings him to the table to achieve peace? Because I know that you wanted to do that.
Brian, that's what we've been saying. I think you might have expressed it better if you want another trip. That's exactly what it was.
That's a summary.
That was a nice summary. I think he's done better than us. He's a very good guy, I can tell you that. But no, it's well said. Yeah, I think this is a chance at getting peace. Or it's just going to be the same thing. And I have to tell you, Europe has a lot of spirit for this war. A lot of people, when I first got involved, I really didn't think they did, but they do. And I saw that a month ago when you were there, many of you were there. The level of esprit de corps, spirit that they have is amazing. They really think it's a very, very important thing to do, or they wouldn't be doing it. Look, they're agreeing to they're paying for everything. We're not paying anymore. We have an ocean separating us. I said, we have a problem. We make the best stuff, but we can't keep doing this. And Biden should have done this years ago. He should have done it from the beginning, but he didn't. He didn't know he was there. This guy, what a horrible job they did for this country. And I just hope between the border and this and so many other inflation, what a horrible administration, the worst administration in history, in my opinion. That's not my opinion. I think it's everybody's opinion. But this is something that shouldn't have happened, and we're going to see if we can end it. I do want to make one statement. Again, I said it before. This is not Trump's war. We're here to try and get it finished and settled and whatever. Because nobody wins with this. And this is a loser from every standpoint.
From day one.
This was Biden, and this was other people, and it's very sad. It's a very sad situation. This gentleman's doing a great job. I think he's going to get it, and Matt and everybody else that's working on it. I think you'll get this thing over with, hopefully. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Brian.
Okay, it's Monday back here at the White House. Of course, this week's episode started in New York and New Jersey, going over to MetLife Stadium and taking part in the FIFA Cup World Championship there. President Trump making an appearance there, being able to present everyone with the trophy. Good times to be had, but it's back to business here at the White House. We just got out of a Oval meeting with members of NATO, and President Trump announcing not only plans to provide these Patriot missiles that will be purchased from NATO to NATO so they can go to Ukraine and perhaps other surrounding countries, but also announcing some really strong tariff talk towards Russia. They've got 50 days to come to the table and negotiate, or that new tariff rate will go in place. So it's been a very active Monday so far. We can see we've got some of the media set up for the NATO officials that will walk out, potentially they do a press conference. That's the normal stake out there. It's hot, it's sunny, but we're going to go inside here in a few minutes. They have a luncheon with kind of a faith leaders luncheon I'm going to participate in. There's someone there at that luncheon that has very close ties to this network. I'll let you figure it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
I want to thank you all for being here and welcome to the first ever White House Summit of Faith and Business Leaders. Today we celebrate the core values that built this country: freedom, hard work, risk-taking, and above all, trust in Almighty God. We have to bring religion back into the country, and we're starting to do that, I think, at a very high level, Paula, a very, very high level. You see churches are starting to fill up again. We now have a confident nation, an optimistic nation, and we have one nation under God, and we'll always keep that term. And I want to thank the people in this room. You really are incredible people, an inspiration to our country. And I know you don't know that. You don't think it because you're too busy working. But you are. You're a great inspiration to young people that want to be just like you when they grow up.
He is our greatest champion of faith of any president that the United States of America has ever had. Just think that prayer, worship, and doing good works is welcome back into the White House. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you with great reverence and expectation. Your word declares in Isaiah chapter 43, verse 19, "Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it?" Lord, we do perceive it. We see the stirring of your hands, reviving hearts, reforming systems, raising up leaders at this very hour. We thank you for our great president, President Trump, for his life, his courage, his clarity, and unwavering defense of faith and freedom. May your wisdom guide him and your protection always surround him, according to your word that does not return void. For thy kingdom come, thy will be done in the earth as it is in heaven. In the mighty, matchless name of Jesus, we pray these things and come in agreement. And everybody said, amen.
We'll be right back with more Sunday in America here on Real America's Voice.
listen to the fanfare.
Back to Sunday in America with your host, Brian Glenn.
Okay, on this Tuesday, we are outside what they call the Palm Doors, getting ready to watch President Trump depart the White House to head to Pittsburgh for his roundtable, kind of a discussion on AI and energy with Dave McCormick. So just outside the Palm Doors, we'll see President Trump get on Marine One and then fly to Joint Base Andrews, which, in fact, he will then get on that plane, Air Force One, and fly to Pittsburgh. We'll see if we can get a couple questions in today. One of the big things was about Adam Schiff and the alleged mortgage fraud that he participated in. I'll get President Trump's thoughts on that, and also thoughts on the trip going to Pittsburgh. Let's go. Okay, we're set just on the south lawn. This is where Marine One will come. It usually is escorted by two other aircraft that kind of circle the area about 15, 20 minutes before he actually lands or takes off. But we're here now. The White House is right there, if I want to point it out. That's the White House. And so you can kind of get a proximity of where we're at right now. He was scheduled to depart at 12:30. It is past 12:30, so we'll see what that actual departure time looks like. See when Marine One comes in, it's quite impressive the amount of power that aircraft has. It's amazing, actually. Hang on a second. They get excited over you, right?
They do. They get excited over you.
Well, I don't know why. First question. First, Letitia James, alleged mortgage fraud. Now we have Adam Schiff allegedly committed mortgage fraud at all. Yeah. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I just saw it, and I think the thing with Adam Schiff is very serious, and I think what they have on Letitia James is very serious. That's a very, very serious situation. But I have to leave that up to the district attorneys and to the prosecutors and to the attorney general, most importantly.
Did Letitia James have a law license based upon the alleged violations of mortgage fraud?
Well, they look pretty open and shut to me, but, you know, I'm not the jury. I'm not the jury. No, it looks very serious. And Adam Schiff looks very serious. Look, he's a sleazeball. Everybody knows it. And I was a little surprised. I thought he would have covered his bases a little bit better than that. Adam Schiff is a lowlife. He deserves what he gets.
Let's talk about the Genius Act that you just pushed out. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we're going to do that, and we have great support for it. It's a beautiful act. It's the Genius Act is a beautiful act. I even like the name of it because we need smart people in our country. Thank you, Brian.
Yes, sir.
Mr. President.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 45th and 47th President of the United States, President Donald J. Trump.
Well, good afternoon. Mr. President, welcome back to Pittsburgh. We're so glad to have you here. A year ago, almost to the day, I was with you at Butler, and I witnessed your strength and your courage on that day, and Dina and I are beyond grateful that you're here safely with us, and we are honored and thrilled to have you back in town. The town we're proud to call home at such an historic time for our great Commonwealth and for our nation. In your first term, you famously promised you were elected to represent the citizens of Pittsburgh, not Paris. And today you're once again making good on that promise. And what's happening here today is absolutely historic. Your visit and your leadership has catalyzed $90 billion of investment in energy and AI revolution in Pennsylvania. $90 billion. Your presence and those commitments showcase Pennsylvania's story to the world. And today's summit begins to deliver on the promises that you and I made to the working families of Pennsylvania by creating many thousands of new jobs. Mr. President, you and I campaigned on an agenda to make America energy dominant, to secure our nation's AI leadership, to create jobs and opportunity for working families in Pennsylvania and across America. And your policies are working. You're making our country energy dominant once again. You're supporting workers at every level. You've embraced foreign investment and created good paying jobs right here in the United States of America, and you have been unwavering in your commitment to rebuilding America's industrial capacity and securing long-term AI leadership. Those policies are not only crucial to our economic well-being, to the people here in Pennsylvania, but to our national security. And this agenda has galvanized private capital. It's unleashing a new wave of industrial development and job creation across America and in Pennsylvania. And I just want to say I'm so thankful to you, but also to your incredible team, Secretary Lutnick, Secretary Bessent, Secretary Burgum, Secretary Wright, David Sachs. We have had such incredible leadership and support from your team. Before we talk about those commitments here and what it means for Pennsylvania workers, I know you want to say a few words. And so I'd like to say, ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce the 45th and the 47th President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, and it's a real honor to be here. And this is a place that warms my heart. We did very well in this state, as you know, 3 times actually. And it's been a tremendous experience. I went to school here, I went to college here, and got to know it very well. And the people are the greatest people on earth, so it's a real honor to be here. And I have to say about David and Dina, they had the toughest race there was. I said, this is going to be a tough one. And every campaign stop that I made, we had lots of people, tens of thousands would be a small crowd. And I'd invite David, and he'd get up and do a fantastic job. And it all worked out, but he won a race that was really not doable. I think his opponent was here for a long time, and his father was there for it's about 50 years at least total. And those people aren't easy to beat, but you beat them. So I just want to congratulate you. That's amazing. And he wouldn't have done it without Dina, that I can tell you. We know Dina. Anybody that knows Dina knows exactly what I'm saying. And, you know, he mentioned Butler, but what nobody really talks too much about because they didn't see the order, but I actually looked down to the right before that thing happened, and I said, oh, there's David McCormick. He's running for the Senate. David, come on up. And there was so many people, there was a little problem he had coming up because I said, look, just do it later. And then about a minute later, so, you know, if you would have come up, I don't know what the hell would have happened, right? It worked out better this way, right?
Exactly.
I don't know if he would have been around, but other than that, let's take
I want to take full credit for that. I said, no, don't bother, we'll do it later. So if I didn't say that, who knows? But really great job. Exactly 1 year ago this week, David was at that rally in Pennsylvania. And 12 months later, look at what we have. We have a president. We have really, I mean, if you think about it, we had a country, and I just left the NATO leaders. I left the Middle East, the King of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, as you know, Emir, so great, and UAE. These are three great leaders. And then we just made a deal with NATO where they pay for everything, and we give them the ammunition and the missiles, and we give them whatever they want. We got to get that war stopped. It's so bad. But every leader said, no matter where, they all said the same thing to me, some of them separately, but it's the same words, just about. They said, it's amazing. 1 year ago, you had a dead country. We were dead. We didn't think you could ever come back. And now today, you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. It's true. It's true. So we're back in Pittsburgh to announce the largest package of investments in the history of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and it's not even close. I don't imagine it's too close. I don't think second is too close. That's a big statement. This afternoon, 20 leading technology and energy companies are announcing more than $92 billion of investments in Pennsylvania. And if you want, we could probably get them up. Let's talk to them right now. But this is a really triumphant day for the people of the Commonwealth and for the United States of America. We're doing things that nobody ever thought possible. As of about a month and a half ago, when we came back from the Middle East, we came back with $5.1 trillion of investments from the three countries that I mentioned, and they're great people, great leaders of those countries. But we came back with many, many planes that they are going to build through Boeing. They came back with a package of goods that were, nobody's seen. I don't think anybody's seen. $5.1 trillion. And we are now at about $16 trillion. And we're at a little bit less than 6 months, but really we're probably at 3 months because it took me a little time to get started, right? So in 3.5, 4 months, let's say, we have about $16 trillion. There's never been anything like that in history. You can go for years and they didn't have numbers like that. And if you look at the last administration, you had negative numbers. You didn't have positive numbers. You're going in the wrong direction. But we have the hottest country, and we're going to keep it that way. Today's commitments are ensuring that the future is going to be designed, built, and made right here in Pennsylvania and right here in Pittsburgh, and I have to say right here in the United States of America. Really, it's an honor to be with you, and congratulations. You're going to have tremendous success all over the country, but you're going to have tremendous success in the Commonwealth. So good luck to everybody, and if I can help you, let me know. Thank you very much. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Mr. President. Great to see you. Great to be with you.
We'll be right back with more Sunday in America here on Real America's Voice.
to vamp it.
To Sunday in America with your host, Brian Glenn.
It is Wednesday here at the White House. Now, there is no shortage of stories right now. We'll get to that here in just a second. But behind me, they're getting ready for Bahrain. The leaders from Bahrain to come to the White House. They are going to announce an investment in U.S. military equipment, billions of dollars of investment in equipment. So that continues basically the revenue stream that we're able to get from our military resources. So also with what's in the news, there is Israel has had strikes on Damascus there in Syria. President Trump perhaps taking some questions on that. A little bit later in the East Room, there is an executive order, kind of a bill signing ceremony taking place in regards to fentanyl. We'll get the details on that. But so much in the news, and just recently in the last 20 minutes, President Trump pushing out on Truth Social, addressing the Epstein files and basically telling everyone that there's nothing there. It's a giant conspiracy, and basically at the end of the post saying, you know, if that's what you believe, then I no longer want or need your support. So I encourage you to go to Truth Social and read that post, and that kind of clarifies a lot of the stance President Trump has in regards to the Epstein files. And also, you know, it's just a beautiful day here at the White House. It never gets old. I can't really see it from here. Looking at the American flag, you know, we were out on the departure yesterday when President Trump was headed to Pittsburgh, and I had a chance to ask him a couple questions, and it would just made me realize just what a picturesque south lawn that is, and it's just as beautiful on the north lawn as well. Okay, so we're going to wait for the Bahrain people to come here, and then we'll move into the East Room for that bill signing.
It's an honor to be with you. Today we strike a righteous blow to the drug dealers, narcotic traffickers, and criminal cartels that we've all been hearing so much about for so many years. And we take a historic step toward justice for every family touched by the fentanyl scourge as we sign the Halt Fentanyl Act into law. With this bill, we are officially and permanently classifying all fentanyl-related substances as Schedule 1 narcotics, meaning anyone caught trafficking these illicit poisons will be punished with a mandatory 10-year minimum sentence in prison. We're joined today by just a few of the millions of families ravaged by this scourge.
This is what we voted for. Mr. President, God bless you. God bless our angel families who are all here with us today.
So today, on behalf of all Americans who have lost a loved one to opioids, we renew our vow to liberate America from this horrible plague, and we'll be getting the drug dealers, pushers, and peddlers off our street. And we will not rest until we have ended the drug overdose epidemic.
Let's talk about the significance of today, President Trump signing this bill to essentially absolutely throw the book at anyone who distributes fentanyl.
Absolutely. It is such an important bill. It will help with criminalization on a federal level. These drug dealers have had no reason to back off from selling fentanyl. There was no real punishment because fentanyl was a Schedule 2, and if you lived in California, where I live, they just give people a court date and just let them, you know, come back in 2 weeks, and nobody ever shows up for their court date, and they never get prosecuted. My son did not get justice. Halt Fentanyl will, you know, definitely help with being a Schedule 1 drug, it will absolutely help with the criminalization of this effort.
Tell us the story of Weston and what exactly happened so that our viewers at home has an understanding, because a lot of people may have a misconception of the deaths regarding fentanyl, but a lot of it, the majority of it, is quite accidental.
Yes, so most people don't know that. My son was such a good kid, great at school, great at sports, loved to surf, tons of friends, beautiful heart, church twice a week, private school, Christian private school. And we were very involved parents, talked to him about drugs, did everything right. And in a moment of peer pressure, someone had offered him something. He was brand new at a school, new group of kids, probably felt peer pressure, didn't want to say no or disappoint anyone. It was something that he had been offered by his own doctor, which I did not allow him to take, but he thought it was something probably safe, could take a quarter of a pill and get away with it. And it wasn't fentanyl at all. It wasn't Percocet at all. It was a pure fentanyl in a blue pressed pill. My son was deceived into thinking he was taking one thing that his doctor deemed safe, and he was not taking that at all. And in any world, if someone poisoned you and you didn't know that if you order a drink at, a restaurant and they give you, if you order a glass of wine and they give you grape juice and cyanide, then you're being poisoned. So my son was poisoned to death. And it's important for people to know that people don't know that they're taking fentanyl. It is a deceitful drug pushed by deceitful people, by the most evil of people in the world, which are the cartels.
Did they ever track down the source of where this pill came from?
The bill?
The source of the pill.
They know exactly where it's from, but California doesn't prosecute.
So today, obviously, President Trump introduced you. Now, the world was introduced to you during the RNC. Let's talk a little bit about that experience, and then we'll fast forward to today.
So 1 year ago today, I stood in front of America and told the story of my beautiful son, Weston, and how fentanyl changed everything, and why it was so important that we elect President Trump. We were living in 4 years of a president who welcomed open borders and was doing zero, and I mean zero, about the fentanyl crisis. This wasn't going to happen in our home. I told that story, and I think it really resonated with mothers especially, but all parents and families throughout the United States, because it was a "this can happen to you too, I assure you" story. My son is saving lives, and God showed me the purpose that night of why he took my son, because I know my son is saving lives with his story.
He is, with your story. Today, did any special words that President Trump shared with you as you were up on the podium there?
No, I mean, he's just, he's always so grateful for the parents who speak, and he's just an amazing person. He's a warm person. You can tell that he truly cares and truly loves us all. So, yeah.
On behalf of our viewers, I know that we are praying for you and your entire family and all the people around you. So thank you for coming out today.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more Sunday in America here on Real America's Voice. to Sunday in America with your host, Brian Glenn.
Good afternoon, everyone. I apologize for our tardiness. I was with the president. Let me begin with a few scheduling announcements today. President Trump will travel to Scotland, where he will visit both Turnberry and Aberdeen from July 25th to July 29th. During the visit, President Trump will meet again with Prime Minister Starmer to refine the great trade deal that was brokered between the United States and the United Kingdom. And the President and the First Lady will travel to the United Kingdom for an official state visit from September 17th to September 19th later this fall. This will mark a truly unprecedented second state visit for President Trump, and he is honored and looking forward to meeting with His Majesty the King at Windsor Castle. We'll go to, look at some friends in the back. Brian, go ahead. You didn't show up early enough to get some good real estate up here.
I love it. Any update on the auto pen? I know that there was the DOJ and some others were looking into the thousands of documents that were signed off just before Joe Biden left office. Any update on the auto pen?
Yes. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing at how far away you are, and you're going to need to get some microphones back there. On the auto pen investigation, yes. The White House counsel's office has launched their own investigation into former President Biden's usage of the auto pen. We have requested some documents from the National Archives. And again, as I've said many times from this podium, and the president has said as well, it's incredibly important that we get to the bottom of who really was at the tip of the spear in the decision-making process here in the White House. Because former President Biden himself admitted to the New York Times, I understand he never gave interviews when he was here, but now all of a sudden he wants to give one. And he said that he did not actually review every single pardon that he signed on his way out the door. That's incredibly concerning, and I can tell you it's something this president would never tolerate. This is a president who is signing things all the time. Any document that has legal implications, this president's signature is on it because he's the one making the decisions. It does not appear that was the truth in the previous White House, and I know the American people want to receive answers on who was running the show because the decisions that were made in this place really destroyed our country, and we deserve to get to the bottom of it. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you later. I appreciate the enthusiasm today.
Thursday. What a busy day here at the White House. Now, what's interesting is we just got out of a 1 p.m. press conference with Carolyn Leavitt, her weekly briefing in the briefing room. And as soon as I walked in, without a doubt, it was the most crowded I have ever seen that briefing room, even on the day that we had President Trump, who was announcing that he was going to do a briefing in that room. It's even more than that. Now, when I first got in, I was towards the back, but on the side. I think, relatively speaking, I think Caroline Leavitt would have had a good chance of seeing me where I was at. Well, I had to step out and take a phone call, and the briefing was delayed for about 30 minutes, so I had to step out and get a phone call. When I came back in, I was now pushed even further back, and I didn't necessarily want to go work my way back up to where I originally was, just for courtesy purposes. So, but as the briefing went on, which, by the way, they talked about, not only they talked about all of the economic accomplishments that President Trump has had. June had absolutely zero crossings again, just like May was. So she went over some of the wins from the Trump admin the last couple months, and then of course it went into questions about Epstein. We knew that was going to happen as well. Also, Carolyn Leavitt talking about the health status of President Trump, getting checked out for a few things, and it seems like everything is okay, but she's very transparent on that, and I think she's going to release a little bit more detailed letter in regards to that. But as I was working my way to the front, I tried to work my way to the front, I eventually got called on, and I gotta say, I think today was the furthest question asked from the podium in the history of the briefing room. I don't think anybody has ever asked a question from almost in the engineering bay that's where I was. But I did ask about the auto pen today. A lot of investigation on the auto pen, a lot of the documents that was signed by Joe Biden just hours before he left the Oval Office. It seems like the only one he actually signed in person would have been the pardon for his son, Hunter Biden. So I know there's going to be some investigations on this and whether or not that was abused, not only in terms of some of these pardons, but also in terms of some of the other documents that were signed by the auto pen. So what in a busy day. I'm going to jump on AVL here in a second to kind of recap that. And then tomorrow, there is a anticipated signing for the Genius Act that just passed the Senate and Congress. Well, it's got to go to the Senate, to Congress last night, so they're going to go ahead and fast track that. It should be on the president's desk tomorrow for him to sign.
See you next time on Sunday in America, only on Real America's Voice.
Perhaps you were born for such a time as this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Faith and Freedom. I'm Shemaine Nugent, and joining me, my co-host, my partner in crime, not crime, but in life, is my husband, Ted Nugent. Ted, you've got so much going on. You've got an upcoming tour, not a tour,
gigs, no tour, no hotels.
No hotels, gigs. You get to come home every night, be with the dogs every night.
Be with you every night.
And talk about that and why you wanted to keep doing that, keep playing at 76, almost 77 years old.
77, Sunset Strip, kooky, lend me your comb. Only the old people know what I'm talking about. But Shemaine, I want to celebrate that I'm so happy. I'm like drunk on positive spirit, positive energy, positive attitude, positive people. We just came back from Cascarelli's restaurant in Homer, Michigan, a fourth generation restaurant. And the people come up and they're so positive. They're thanking me for fighting for self-evident truths and freedoms, Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the American dream of being the best that you can be. And I'm getting ready to do a concert. By the time this airs, I already got off stage in Waukesha, Wisconsin. I've been voted the #1 artist in like 50 different state fairs because I stand up for God, family, country, Constitution. And happiness is just a choice away. Surround yourself with positive, energized people that have enthusiasms. We have so much enthusiasm, but the reason I keep doing this, Jason Hartless on drums, Johnny Big on bass guitar. We got Todd, we got Toby, we got Frank, we got the greatest crew, the hardest working people in the world, my mechanics, my plumbers, my welders, the most important people in the world, Pat Butler and Jim Richards, everybody who works on my Broncos and helps us.
But most importantly, you have the hardest working dogs.
I have the best dogs and the best wife. But number one, thank you, everybody, for your attitude and your spirit, your energy, and supporting Shemaine's First Amendment for truth, logic, common sense, and good over evil in these crazy, crazy times. But be sure your inner circle is all 100% good, positive, thinking, caring, loving, hardworking people who aspire and sacrifice and risk to be in the asset column of life. Go to tednugent.com and see what our children's charity, Ted Nugent Camp for Kids, volunteers for 35 years. So we are so happy because Shemaine represents the best of the best, which are you people here at Real America's